Hello. Yeah, there's the delay.
would you rate every single fruit in Blox Fruits? There's a lot of new fruits, new rework, and maybe even the control rework. Where will they rank in this insane tier list? The criteria are visuals, damage, and functionality. And here's our tier list, but we gotta change this from S, super, godly. This one is going to be great. It is going to be good. And if it's okay, it's going to be mid. And if it's really bad, it's going to be a doo-doo. And we're starting with spin. This fruit needs a rework so bad. Even the looks of it is just a poo-poo right away. A doo-doo thingy. But it's the skills doo-doo. Here we got the Razor Wind. Oh, okay. Okay, you got a little bit of rework. We got Tornado Assault. 105 damage. We got the Air Slasher. Not bad. But the Helicopter... Overall, that is a doo-doo. Next up, we got the Spring. If there's anything lower than doo-doo, it's this one. But, let's see. Okay, this one got 5 skills, by the way. We got the Knockback. Oh, not bad. We got Spring Snipe. Actually, that's pretty bad. We got Spring Cannon. Oh, look at that range right there. We got the Spring Emperor, which is good if you have, like, walls around you. And we got the Spring Lip. This one for sure nobody's using, and it's a doo-doo. Now, this fruit just got a big rework. It used to be called Chop. Now it's called Blade. Visuals of it still so bad, but it's the skills better. Okay, this one is different. See right there, 3 blades. The best part about this fruit is one of its functionality. If the NPC is using sword just like this one, look at this. Ooh, what's up? I am just spinning like a blade. But that is not all. But first, let's see the skills. We got the Razor Cyclone. Okay, we got the Blade Dance. And then we got Saw Shredder. And then we got the Turban Flight. Turban Flight's a little bit slow, so I'll give it to that. But the best part about this fruit is this one. It now has an M1, and it might be the best M1 in the game. Because if you're leveling up as a noob, this is one of the best fruit to start with. So overall, you guys might disagree with me, but let me know in the comment if you guys agree or not, because this is going straight to great. And later on, I'm going to be rating the new Tiger and Werewolf fruit. And also, I'm going to be giving away 10 Tiger fruits to people who like this video right now. So what are you waiting for? Like this video right now. This fruit just got a revamp, but the fruit itself still looks kind of disgusting. But we're basing it on the skills. Will it get out of the doo-doo? We got the Spike Summon. Okay, we got the Whirlwind, and look at that. Okay, I got him. I thought I was not gonna get him. Almost didn't. We got the Spike Barrage. I like that. And the best part about this fruit is the spiky ball. See this? Boom. Everything looks ugly. The damage is not even strong.
Don't you want to go play with the other? I'll just upset them. Apologize to me anymore. Don't you want to go play with the others? I'll just upset them.
I faked sleeping all night to see if my wife is lying. My wife Emma has been acting weird for weeks, and I mean really weird. She'd been staying up super late saying she was doing work stuff on her laptop, but whenever I'd walk by, she'd quickly close it or switch tabs. She started getting these random phone calls that she'd take outside, and when I asked who it was, she'd just say, work, or my sister, but her voice sounded off. The whole thing was making me paranoid as hell. The breaking point was last Tuesday when I came home early from my shift at the warehouse and found her rushing around the house like she was cleaning up evidence or something. She had this guilty look on her face and kept asking why I was home so early. That night, she told me she was going to bed around 10 p.m. because she had an early meeting, but something felt wrong about it, so I decided to test her. I pretended to fall asleep right after she did, but I kept one eye barely open and controlled my breathing to make it sound like I was out cold. I even did that thing where I'd occasionally twitch or mumble a little to sell it. Around 11:30 p.m., I heard her moving around. She was being super careful, like tiptoeing across our creaky bedroom floor. I kept my breathing steady and watched through my barely open eyelid as she grabbed her phone from the nightstand. She looked at me for what felt like forever to make sure I was really asleep. Then she snuck out to the living room. I waited about 5 minutes before carefully getting up and creeping toward the hallway. Our apartment is small, so I could hear everything from the the bedroom doorway if I was quiet enough. She was on the phone with someone, and her voice was completely different. Not the tired, stressed voice she'd been using with me lately, but excited and happy. I couldn't make out everything, but I caught bits like, tomorrow night, and he'll never find out, and I can't wait. My heart was literally pounding so hard I thought she might hear it. I'm thinking the worst, right? Like she's cheating or planning to leave me or something. I snuck back to bed and pretended to sleep until she came back about 20 minutes later. The next day, I was a complete mess at work. My buddy Jake kept asking what was wrong because I looked like I hadn't slept in days. I didn't want to tell him what was happening because honestly, I felt stupid for spying on my own wife. But the whole thing was eating me alive. That evening, Emma said she had to work late again and might not be home until after midnight. She kissed me goodbye, but it felt different, like she was already mentally somewhere else. After she left, I sat on our couch staring at the TV but not really watching anything. Around 9 p.m., I decided to drive by her office building. Her car wasn't there. The parking lot was completely empty except for the security guard's truck. Now I'm really freaking out because she definitely lied.
Each one of my family members has a different superpowered ability. That's so sick, you guys must. And disability. Disability? I'm blind. Oh, I get it. You must have heightened senses then. Nope, completely normal in those areas. But I do have laser vision. Wait, but you're blind. I know. If I take off these glasses, all hell breaks loose. And you said your whole family is... Yep, me and my younger brother. Hey. Hello? Hey? My apologies. He's deaf. Of course. What's his power? Super hearing? No. Actually, he can sense when people are lying. Really? Go ahead. Lie. I had breakfast this morning. Pretty cool, see? Very useful. I'm sure you're quite the interrogator. Well, he can't do it by himself. He can't read lips. Then how did he... I told you he can sense when people are lying. Doesn't mean he knows what you're saying. You guys have very inconvenient powers, don't you? You should see my older brother. There's a third one? He's right there in the corner. You didn't hear him because he's mute. And what does he do? He sees visions of the future. Real Final Destination stuff. Exactly like Final Destination. Well, let's see if he sees this. God, what are you doing? He's doing terribly. You guys are not safe at all. Who are you? I'm the one who's gonna end your bloodline. Real Final Destination stuff. What's wrong? You talking about him? About me? He's not gonna do anything. He's our friend. Yeah, I'm not here to hurt y'all. No. That could mean anything. You. Wait, let's talk about it. Each one of my family members has a different superpowered ability. That's so sick, you guys must. And disability.
Throwback to 2020 when this guy started staring at a bleach bottle, not realizing this was the start of a 5-year battle against physics. It began slowly, with him just trying to move simple objects with his mind. At first, nothing happened, and he looked crazy standing in his garage. But he refused to give up, and this continued for years, until 2023, when he actually managed to crush a block of styrofoam without touching it, marking the moment his powers finally woke up. But it didn't stop there. By 2025, he had become so powerful that gravity didn't even apply to him anymore. He was literally spotted floating in the woods wearing a white robe, proving that he had fully mastered telekinesis. If he decides to turn evil, is there anyone who can actually stop him? Throwback to 2020.
My twin sister and I always knew when the other was in pain. Until the morning I woke up and felt nothing. Madison and I were born 17 minutes apart, identical twins, but the weird part wasn't how we looked, it was the connection. When she broke her wrist in 3rd grade, I felt it snap in my own arm during recess. When I got my wisdom teeth out at 19, she called me from her college dorm crying because her jaw was throbbing. We couldn't explain it. Doctors said it was psychological, but it was real. If Madison was sad, my chest would get heavy. If I was anxious, she'd text me asking what was wrong. It happened our entire lives. 26 years of knowing exactly when my other half needed me. Thursday morning, I woke up at 6:47 a.m. and felt nothing. Just silence where Madison usually was, like someone had cut a wire in my brain. I figured she was still asleep. But by noon, the silence was so loud I couldn't think. I tried calling. No answer. Texted her. Nothing. She's probably just busy, my boyfriend said. You don't understand. I can't feel her. That's not really a thing, but it was. I called her for work. They said she'd called in sick. I called her roommate, Jules. Have you seen Madison? Not since yesterday morning. Yesterday? It's 2 p.m. She went hiking. Haven't seen her since. My stomach dropped. What trail? Eagle Point, I think? I hung up and drove straight there. 43 minutes. My hands wouldn't stop shaking on the wheel. I kept trying to feel for her. That familiar tug in my chest that meant she was there. Nothing. The parking lot had 3 cars. One was Madison's blue Honda Civic. I ran to the ranger station. My sister. She came hiking yesterday. She never came back. The ranger's face changed. What's her name? Madison Ellis. Blue jacket, 26 years old. He picked up his radio. We found someone this morning. Female hiker. She's at County Memorial. I don't remember driving to the hospital. I remember my vision going blurry, my throat closing up, the silence in my head getting louder. I ran through the emergency room doors. Madison Ellis. Where is she? The nurse looked at her computer. Her face went soft. ICU. 3rd floor. Room 312. I took the stairs. Couldn't wait for the elevator. My legs barely worked. Pushed through the ICU doors. Room 312 had a closed curtain. I could hear machines beeping. That steady rhythm. Beep, beep, beep. I pulled back the curtain. Madison was in the bed. Tubes in her throat. Wires everywhere. A ventilator later, breathing for her. No, 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 no. A doctor appeared. Are you family? I'm her twin. What happened? She fell approximately 30 feet. Massive head trauma. We've been trying to reach next of kin. Is she? I couldn't finish. She's breathing with machine assistance, but I need to be honest with you. The brain scans show no activity. We've tested 3 times. The machines kept beeping, her chest rising and falling, but it wasn't her. That's why I couldn't feel her anymore. She's gone? I whispered. I'm so sorry. I sat down next to her bed, held her hand. It was warm. Her fingers looked exactly like mine. Same freckle on the left thumb. Can she hear me? We don't believe so. I stayed there for 4 hours, talking to her, begging her to come back, squeezing her hand and waiting to feel that connection again. Just once. Just a flutter of pain or sadness or anything. Nothing. Just the machines and the silence. Our parents arrived at 8 p.m. Mom collapsed when she saw Madison. Dad had to hold her up. They'd been on vacation in Florida. Didn't even know. The doctor came back at 9:15 p.m. We need to discuss next steps. She's on life support. Legally, you can choose to continue or don't. I said, don't say it. But Mom was already crying harder. She wouldn't want this. She made me promise if she was ever... Dad's voice cracked. She signed papers. DNR. She told us last year. They turned off the machines at 11:47 p.m. on Friday. I held one hand. Mom held the other. The beeping stopped. Her chest stopped moving. For the first time in 26 years, Madison and I were in the same room, and I couldn't feel her at all. My twin sister and I always knew when the other was in pain, until the morning I woke up and felt nothing. Madison and I were born 17 minutes apart, identical twins, but the weird part wasn't how we looked. It was the connection. When she broke her wrist in 3rd grade, I felt it snap in my own arm during recess. When I got my wisdom teeth out at 19...
During my blood donation, the nurse looked at the bag and stammered, I need to call the CDC immediately. I donate blood every 8 weeks like clockwork. It's something my dad started doing after his best friend needed 17 units during a motorcycle accident, and I've kept up the tradition since college. I know the routine by heart. Sign in, answer the health questionnaire, get your finger pricked, lie back, squeeze the stress ball, wait 10 minutes, get your juice and cookies, leave. Except this time, something went wrong. The nurse who started my donation was named Patricia. She'd done this maybe 10,000 times based on the efficiency of her movements. Needle in, tape secured, stress ball positioned. She smiled and told me to relax and walked away to check on other donors. I was halfway through scrolling social media when Patricia came back to check my bag. Standard procedure. She glanced down at it, and her entire face changed. The color drained from her cheeks. Her hand flew up to her mouth. What's wrong? I asked. She didn't answer. She just stared at the bag hanging from my arm, and I watched her eyes go wide with something that looked like horror. Patricia, don't move! Her voice came out strangled. Just stay completely still. She backed away from my chair slowly, like I was a bomb that might detonate. Then she turned and practically sprinted to the supervisor's desk. I looked down at my arm. The blood flowing through the tube looked normal to me. Dark red, exactly like every other donation I'd ever given. But Patricia was now gesturing frantically at the supervisor, and they both kept glancing back at me with expressions I couldn't read. The supervisor walked over. She was older, probably in her 60s, with the kind of calm demeanor that comes from decades of medical experience. But when she looked at my blood bag, that calm cracked. How long has it been like this? She asked Patricia. Since I checked 5 minutes ago. I thought my eyes were playing tricks, but it's getting worse. What's getting worse? I asked. What's wrong with my blood? The supervisor ignored my question. She pulled out her phone and stepped away, speaking in a low voice I couldn't hear. When she came back, her face was serious. We need you to stay calm, she said. We're going to stop the donation now. Patricia removed the needle with shaking hands. She sealed the bag carefully, like it contained something radioactive. Can someone please tell me what's happening? The supervisor pulled up a chair. Your blood is the wrong color. I laughed. What do you mean wrong color? Blood is red. Not yours. She paused. Yours is changing. It started red, but now it's turning silver. My stomach dropped. That's not possible. I know. She showed me the bag. I stared at it for a long moment, my brain refusing to process what I was seeing. My blood was silver. Not gray, not pale red, actual metallic silver, like liquid mercury flowing through a plastic bag. I don't understand. Neither do we. The supervisor stood up. I need to call the CDC immediately. This isn't something we can handle here. The CDC? Why? Because this has never happened before. Ever. In the entire history of blood donation. My hands started shaking. Is something wrong with me? Am I dying? You feel normal? I did a quick internal check. Yeah, I feel fine. Exactly like I always do after donating. Then sit tight. Someone from the CDC will be here within the hour. They moved me to a private room. Patricia brought water and crackers, but she wouldn't make eye contact. The supervisor stayed with me, taking my vitals every 10 minutes. Blood pressure normal, heart rate normal, temperature normal. Everything was fine except for the silver blood sitting in a sealed container on the counter. 40 minutes later, 2 people in suits arrived. They didn't introduce themselves, just asked me 100 questions. Had I traveled recently? No. Been exposed to chemicals? No. Eaten anything unusual? No. Been bitten by anything? No. One of them drew more blood from my other arm. This sample came out silver too. But stranger still, it started shifting colors under the light, turning from silver to gold to copper before settling back to silver. They sealed it in a special container and left without explaining anything. I sat in that room for 6 hours while they ran tests. The supervisor finally came back looking exhausted. You're free to go, she said. But the CDC wants you to come to their facility tomorrow for more comprehensive testing. What's wrong with me? She hesitated. They don't know yet. Your blood is unlike anything they've documented. The silver coloring, the color shifting, the metallic properties, none of it makes medical sense. But I'm okay. All your vitals are perfect. Whatever this is, it doesn't seem to be hurting you. I drove home in a daze. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that silver blood, wondering what it meant. The next morning, I got a call from an unknown number. This is Dr. Lim from the CDC. We need you to come in immediately. We've analyzed your blood sample, and we found something concerning. What did you find? Your blood contains trace amounts of an element that doesn't exist on Earth. My throat went dry. What does that mean? That's what we're trying to figure out. During my blood donation, the The nurse looked at the bag. My parents took me to court for buying a house. Last month, I bought my first home after 13 years of grinding. My reward? A court summons from my own parents. The reason? That house should have been Sage's. I thought they were joking. They weren't. See, I'd been living off... ramen and working 60-hour weeks since college, while my sister Sage got a full ride through life. Art school, fancy apartment, everything handed to her. When she graduated with her $180,000 art history degree, my parents promised her they'd help buy a house. Problem is, they're broke. Turns out funding Sage's lifestyle for 26 years drained their savings. So when I finally scraped together enough for a down payment on a modest 3-bedroom, suddenly I became the villain. Their lawyer wanted me to transfer the house to my sister, pay off her mortgage, give $50,000 for emotional damages, and write an apology for breaking up the family. I laughed so hard I snorted, then hung up. The harassment started immediately. Mom posted on Facebook, "Some children forget where they came from. His sister has student loans and no stable housing. A good son would help his family. Disappointed in your family values." My aunt commented, "Shameful behavior. Your sister needs that house more than you need your selfishness." I got uninvited from Thanksgiving. The family group chat exploded. Cousins I hadn't talked to in years suddenly had opinions about my greed. My uncle called me selfish for not stepping up when family needed help. Extended family members I barely knew were messaging me, telling me I was destroying the family and that I should do the right thing. Sage started posting Instagram stories about being betrayed by blood and how money changes people. She filmed herself crying outside my new house, talking about how she just wanted a place to call home. My parents escalated. Dad started parking outside my workplace, following me to the grocery store. Mom would show up at my gym, making scenes about how I was breaking her heart. They actually hired a private investigator to go through my finances, trying to prove I'd stolen money or gotten help from someone. When that turned up nothing, they claimed I must have gotten an illegal loan. Court day arrived. My parents showed up with Sage and my aunt, all wearing matching t-shirts that said, "Family comes first" in giant letters. They brought a photographer to document their fight for justice. The drama started immediately. Sage rushed at me crying. "I forgive you for pushing things this far. We can still fix this." I stepped back. She stumbled forward, arms grasping at air, putting on a performance for the courtroom. From the back row, my aunt muttered loud enough for everyone to hear, "Look at him, turning his back on his own sister in her time of need." The judge banged his gavel for silence. Their lawyer, clearly embarrassed to be there, began presenting evidence. Childhood Happy Meal receipts from 2003. A spreadsheet itemizing every birthday gift they'd ever bought me, including a $39.99 toy car from 1998. Text messages where I'd said, "Love you," as proof of family obligation. They brought photo albums from when I was a baby, presenting them like emotional evidence. Then came Sage's $180,000 student loan documents and a detailed business plan to turn my house into an artist retreat and wellness center. She'd never sold a single piece of art or had any business experience. When the judge asked Sage about her current occupation, she stammered, "I'm in a transitional phase, focusing on developing my personal art and finding my authentic voice as a creative." "Are you currently employed?" the judge asked. Mom interrupted desperately. "She's an artist, a digital content creator. She has an Instagram with over 200 followers." The judge spoke slowly, with weight. "Is she generating any income from these activities?" Dead silence. My aunt couldn't contain herself anymore and stood up screaming, "Income doesn't determine a person's worth. She deserves that house more than he does. He's being selfish and cruel." Security moved toward her as she continued ranting about family loyalty and blood being thicker than water. Then it was my turn. I calmly submitted my evidence. Bank statements showing every dollar came from my savings. Mortgage documents with only my name. Pay stubs proving I'd been working full-time since graduation. Proof I'd been financially independent since 18. Then the kicker. Email chains from college where I begged for help buying textbooks and was told, "The family is prioritizing Sage's tuition right now, and you need to learn responsibility." The judge looked at my parents with pure disgust. "This case is not only frivolous, but borders on harassment and attempted theft. You have no legal standing whatsoever. Case dismissed." They were ordered to pay my court costs. Tries tukstoshi divi simti dolari. As we walked out, my dad yelled down the hallway, "You're dead to us. You've destroyed this family." Mom sobbed dramatically. "I don't know where we went wrong raising you." I went home. Had Chinese takeout in my house. Keys in my pocket. Deed with my name only. My parents took me to court for...
To art class, where there are no wrong answers.
9/11 was an inside job.
There is one wrong answer.
The earth is flat.
When there are two wrong answers.
The Holocaust didn't happen.
Okay, Jeremy, get the f*** to art class.
Hi guys, I am back. I thought of the support you guys gave me and the hard work I spent on YouTube. So I came back, and I promise you guys I won't leave again. And I will try to post videos. So Jessica is back, and I will never leave again. I love you.
Hi there, hello. So hey, guess what? What? Somebody doesn't want you to be alive anymore, they decided. Oh. Don't tell him. Oh, well, I already did that. So anyway, they paid me to make sure that happens to you and fast. Oh, so you're gonna do a murder on me? Yeah, I'm gonna do a murder on you and I'm gonna get some money for having done that. Okay, okay. I should say I don't think you're allowed to do murders on people. I'm just gonna call the police and check. Oh, okay. He's gonna call the police. No. Hi there, hello, it's me. I'm the police. Yeah, hi there, hello. There's a guy here and he wants to do a murder on me. Oh, no, that won't do. We don't like people doing murders on each other, we decided. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, thanks, bye. I got a big mustache and a pretty cool hat. Sounds very cool. Okay, bye. So yeah, I confirmed you're not allowed to do this. Oh, okay, good to know. Turns out I'm not allowed. Yeah, I know, but I'll give you money if you do it anyway. That's the whole premise of this job. Oh, sneaky. Okay, I finally understand the assignment. Hi there, hello. So hey, guess what?
At my tutor's house, she looked at me and said, "Get one question wrong and you're staying at my house tonight." My eyes widened. I thought she was joking, but she pulled out a stack of flashcards and said, "Let's begin," with a grin on her face. The first question, who was the 23rd president? Of the United States. Brother, I can barely name 5 presidents. Abraham Lincoln. Wrong. I'll give you 2 more tries. My palms are sweating. Next, what's the square root of 1,764? What? I literally have an F in math. She knows this. 40? Wrong. It's 42. This felt rigged. Next, how many bones are in the human ear? I was completely cooked. What? It has no bones. She shook her head no. Then she put the cards down. One more chance. Tell me your birth mother's middle name. My heart stopped. She knew my mom abandoned me when I was a baby. How would I know that? That's not fair. She stared at me smiling. Looks like you're staying here tonight. I begged her to let me leave. Please, I've been here for hours. Can I just go home? But she didn't say anything. She just sat there staring at me like I was some kind of experiment. I tried to stand up, but she snapped, "Sit down, we're not done." I sat back down, but something felt off. I glanced at the front door and noticed it was locked. When did she lock that? Why is the door locked? She ignored me and pulled out her phone. I watched her text someone and then she said, "They're on their way. He's ready." What? Who's on their way? Who are you texting? She didn't answer. A few minutes later, the doorbell rang. She got up and opened the door, and when I saw who it was, my stomach dropped. It was my stepmom. "Wait, what are you doing here?" But she didn't even look at me. She walked straight to the tutor and they hugged. And it wasn't a normal hug. My stepmom looked at her and said, "Nice work, babe." "Babe? What is going on? Why did she call you babe?" The tutor turned to me and smiled. "You really don't recognize me, do you?" I had no idea what she was talking about. "Recognize you? You're my tutor." She laughed. "I'm your mother." My heart stopped. "What? No. My mom left when I was a baby. I don't even know what she looks like." "Well, now you do." I couldn't breathe. This couldn't be real. I jumped up and ran for the door, but my stepmom grabbed me by the arm so hard I thought it would snap. "Let go of me!" But she wouldn't. I tried to scream, but my voice cracked. "Why are you doing this? What do you want from me?" My stepmom leaned in close and whispered, "Your dad asked the same thing right before we killed him." I froze. "What?" "Your daddy left everything to you in his will. But if you're gone, it all goes to her, and she's gonna share it with me." I couldn't believe it. "You're killing me for money?" "Sweetie, it's a lot of money." Bruh, I completely lost it. I bit her arm as hard as I could, and she screamed, letting go just long enough for me to break free. I sprinted down the hallway while they chased me. "Get back here!" I ducked into a room and locked the door. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely think. Then I remembered my old phone. I shoved it in my
answer. What